Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hand of Fate. I'm Nai.
I'm Mako, and we're just starting up a new run.
Yep, this is step one of the new run. We're starting midway into it, or well, at the start of it, because I accidentally pressed retry last time. Oh well.
Well, we got a bunch of new stuff, and we're still working on the last of the Shadow Agent stuff.
From what I understand, we actually have a ways to go on Shadow Agent.
Really?
People have led me to believe that Shadow Agent goes pretty far into it.
Ooh.
So, and the problem is I don't even know what we're looking for this particular Shadow Agent card. I don't know like the thing that we're looking for.
I forget.
I don't know if it's just an event that we're on the hunt for, or if I have an item they want me to get. I have a feeling it's an item, but I don't know if we've gotten, like, I don't know if we've actually gotten the quest to get the item yet, or if we got the quest to get the quest.
I'm sure you're.
There's the Goblin King crown. We'll kind of leave that stuff on top so we can see if we can get that.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what that does.
I do too. I also want to know about that whatever that sword was. Merchant's Favor, Kraken Unleashed.
Oh, the Hellblade.
The Hellblade. That's right.
Someone in the comments was saying that the Hellblade was that they never actually got to really play around with it, so they were curious as to what it did.
Yeah.
That is the curse that ends.
Okay, we'll go ahead and go do return policy, which should give me the ability to get the Goblin King crown. Okay. Where takes reduced damage from traps.
That's not great, but not bad if you're particularly
Really?
running a certain
Is that
way.
what you're going
Yep.
to do?
So go ahead and... Wait, that's not right. Why am I wearing this? Oh, that's the first item I got. Okay. Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought I was in soldier's training again, and I'm like, that's not right. That's not right at all. Okay. So, Mike, I'm curious. I had a gentleman who emailed me the other day. Oh, crap.
Games
That's
aren't
not good.
designed.
That's really
Not
not
the way
good,
we
actually.
They grow as we work.
I had a gentleman who emailed
They
me
evolve around the
with a
planes
kind of
that
a
flow through.
strange
The
request.
things they love and hate.
And he
become
said,
part of our firmament.
He was trying
So
to
who
do a
is
review
the true creator?
on the Ghostbusters game for the PC.
A choice.
Which one?
Select your desire.
The one just called Ghostbusters. Like the
Okay.
one that was also on the Xbox 360, that one.
Okay.
The problem is, as far as I'm aware, that game was pulled from Steam for some reason, though I don't know 100% sure why. Though I think it has to do with Steam's incomplete games policy, because the Steam version did not include the multiplayer that the Xbox version did. But because I bought it before the Steam version came out, I got to I obviously get to keep it. So he wanted to use my videos, I guess without sound is the impression that I got, in order to do his own review video. And he, was emailing me to ask me permission, which kind of got me a little bit curious because, obviously there's the questions of copyrights and permissions that already happens when you're a content creator, specifically for video games. So there's already the question, do I have the right to use this video footage for myself? Well, now we have a second level going on where someone else is asking my permission to use
and you die.
the video that I captured.
Never mind the fact that with the movie coming out,
True death.
things are going to be double on edge for anything with that name in.
I really doubt that's going to be a problem. I seriously doubt it. Hold on one second, guys.
Like all games, touches.
Sorry about that, guys. Had to make sure the capture window was in the right spot. Okay, we'll get rid of cowardice. I was kind of worried about that. But that had kind of led me to be curious, because there's also... Mako, did you hear about the thing going on with Blizzard right now?
I can name at least 2 or 3 of them.
So the big amusing thing is everybody knows Rule 34, right? Of the internet?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course... Okay, the game...
No, it doesn't matter what it is.
Hold on one second,
there's
guys.
more.
The game's chugging. I'll be right back. And we're back, and hopefully it'll normalize. Mako, you were talking.
I was gonna say, Rule 34. If it exists, there is porn of it somewhere.
And the corollary, which is...
If there isn't, someone will make it.
Exactly. So a bunch of porn was, of course, made for Overwatch, because it's a game, it has women in it, has waifus, all of a sudden porn. Did you hear that Blizzard is putting DMCA takedown notices to take them down?
I had heard that they are trying to remove as much Overwatch porn from the net as they can. It is not working.
Well, obviously not, because fair use says you can do it.
Well, from what I understand, their primary vector is people who pull the what's the word I'm looking for? The format, the body shape,
Yeah. So the main thing, as far as I understand, is they're specifically going after 3D renders of people who pulled direct shape information from the game and then used it immediately. The problem is, as I understand it, that it's still fair use. It doesn't matter how you word it. As long as they are doing a transformative work, which unfortunately in this case, unfortunately for Blizzard in this case, porn is transformative, it doesn't seem to matter. But I thought that was interesting. And I don't know how true that whole fair use thing is, but that's what I've been told, is that in this case it applies. But what I'm rather curious about is the following question. If you put it on the internet, is it still yours? Because think about it for a second. There are... so, to give you an example, I am a backer, I'm a Patreon backer of a band called Falcon Shield. They are a, in my opinion, really, is this the one I want? All these kind of suck. In my opinion, they're a really talented group who does, kind of like rap songs about video games. But that's the reason I got into them, is because they did some really awesome kind of like rap songs on League of Legends, where they, let's see, we're gonna lose 5 max health here, and we're gonna lose 10 health, and we're gonna get 15% max health. Okay, so nothing happened. So they kind of tell the story from the, this is Underworld Totem, which is a new card. You discover Totem of the Underworld. These magical pillars of stone unleash hell beasts onto the lands and turn your allies against you. The stone edifice is a hollow for 1 ring. Placed in the totem, we'll place 1 ring, because I don't know what's going to be. As soon as the ring nests into position, the totem shudders and crumbles. I don't know that we lost. In the swirling void left behind by the totem's destruction, the path ahead is revealed to you. The dealer draws you 1 peak game card? Oh, okay. It's a map card. Why can't they just call it a map card? Okay, what ring did I lose? Merchant's Ring, Killing Streak. Lost the Ring of Hindsight. Okay. But they do really good music, in my opinion, where they tell kind of... They perform, like, a rap sequence based on, like, a character's personality from League of Legends. Which, tend to be, in my opinion, most of them are extraordinarily well done. And they, like, use word choice by the character. In a lot of cases, they actually get the character's original voice actor or voice actress to actually do the performance using the words they came up with. So lots of cool stuff, and in my opinion, it's really well done, and I really enjoy listening to them. So I decided that because one of their Patreon rewards is to get the songs early, but also get a high-quality MP3 of the songs, that I would, that I'd back them. So I'm really enjoying it, but apparently one of the things they've been running into is that there are programs that you can run for the 3 main browsers that just straight up rip video or rip audio straight from YouTube. So they're having some trouble because some people don't want to back them because they could just get it for free. So what's the point? So, the thing is, you put your stuff out on the internet. You put the picture you drew on the internet. You put the song that you sang, the video that you took, the book that you wrote, you put it on the internet, and supposedly, according to some things I have read, and I have no idea how true this is, but U.S. copyright law supposedly puts protections into place as long as you can prove where you got it from. But I don't know how true that actually is. But the question is, can you expect to not have people at least do transformative work as soon as you put on the internet? Can you have a reasonable expectation of my work remains sacrosanct?
Better people have been trying to work that out, and
not even from a legal perspective. Just from a standpoint of a person who would put, art out. Do you think that you should be able to expect that? Not even legal, just in general. Any opinion?
Like I said, other people have tried and failed to work this out for ages, and I don't think anyone's ever come to a good consensus on it. Myself, I think it depends a lot. Like these aren't binary yes no kind of things.
No?
Not in my head.
What's the not binary part of it? Are you saying there's certain things that should be sacrosanct and certain that shouldn't?
I don't know, really.
Because, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that me yapping for 30 minutes straight while playing a video game is some measure of high art. It's not. I'm not going to even pretend that I'm doing this for the people or all that. That some are saying, man, I do this for the viewers. I do it for me, and you guys just happen to enjoy it, and I appreciate that. But it's just one of those things. Like, I can rightly say, I think, that there's nothing I'm doing here that is amazingly special. I hope something comes of it one day at this point. I'm actually beginning to hope that that'll eventually happen. But that's kind of about it. But I also look at something like, a bunch of my friends are big role players. And a couple of them have gotten art made of their original characters. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a certain, level of laugh that I hear a lot when people use the term original character.
Original character do not steal. I know exactly.
Yeah, original character do not steal. But, when you have, I've seen some characters that had long, drawn-out backstories that had been played out over the course of years. Characters had been made and killed. They have pretty interesting, distinct designs. Like, there was some work put into these. And then, these players pay for art to be made of these characters. And then not long afterwards, someone shows up that just right-click, save as, and then re-uploads that picture elsewhere, or even to a worse extent, tries to sell that information elsewhere.
That is utterly not kosher.
But the question is, you put it out there. It is now there. So, is there not something to be said that if you put this out, that you should expect that it will no longer remain that same thing, It's going to be transformed, so you should expect that something's going to happen. Now, obviously, someone shouldn't sell something that is your intellectual property. Let's go there. But, would it be fair to say, well, this person should also not be able to take inspiration off of my character? You can't make a character like my character. So then we run into the whole Mighty Number 9 thing.
Every great idea has already been made. Like,
nothing new under the sun.
There is a certain amount of reproduction that is going to be expected, but like just the wholesale direct taking of and reproducing, that's just not kosher in so many ways.
It's an interesting thing because the question is where do you stop? At what point do you go, okay, well, we have now reached a point where you should no longer be complaining? Because there's got to be a point, right, where you go, okay, well, I'm not happy about this, but it's a thing that happened and there's nothing I can do about it. It's a little bit, it's really hard to take the internet and to not go in this direction. Because when you have things like, video and picture and audio that you can just right-click download and nothing stops you. Because, let's face it, if you really want to do it, nothing's going to stop you. There's ways around all of this stuff, and we're sitting there going, you can put protections in. Yeah, you can, and generally right-clicking and viewing source fixes that problem.
The moment you make something foolproof, someone will make a better fool.
Well, it's more the moment you make something to the public, it becomes public domain, is almost what it feels like. And obviously, I'm not talking about the legal statement public domain, but to give you an example, now I don't know how true this is, and I'm basing this on an Adam Sandler movie, so you'll understand what I mean in a second.
Okay.
The movie, crap, what is the name of that movie? The movie with the two guys who are faking a gay wedding to help with health insurance.
Considering I don't like Adam Sandler, I'm not going to be much help to you. So
it's a shame. It was a pretty decent film. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, fine. One of the lines said the two guys were. So long story short, they're faking gay marriage in order to try to give one of the guys health insurance for his kids, like that, or not health insurance, life insurance, and to make his kids his beneficiaries because he's a firefighter, dangerous profession. So he was worried that if he died, that his kids would not be taken care of because his previous beneficiary was his wife, and she's now dead. And it took him over a year to do something about this. So the time to make her change was up afterwards. So, it's kind of a douchebaggy thing, but that's the premise of the movie. So he asks his friend, played by Adam Sandler, to, fake gay marry him in order to spread that and to make it so he would be allowed to make the change. And then all of a sudden, they're being investigated by, douchebag number one, who is trying to prove that it's not a real gay marriage. He's trying to prove that what is actually happening is, in fact, the thing that's happening. So one of the things he does is he starts digging through their trash to try to dig up dirt on them. And one of the things that is stated in the movie, and I don't know how true this is, but one thing that's stated in the movie is once it goes on the street, once it's put in your trash, you can't hold, and you don't have any hold over it.
I have actually heard that before.
And I've heard that before, so I'm kind of curious how true that is.
I can't make any guarantees to this because I heard it by way of CSI, but the general rule of thumb is once it's out on the curb past a certain point, it's public property or something like that. I don't know how they.
Yeah, that's the phrase. That's kind of the phrase I heard. And what kind of gotten the reason why I bring this up is that my like many companies, my company has a field destroy rule, right? Something gets broken, something comes back broken. We don't intend to fix it, so we make sure it's not a sellable item. We make sure that it can't be sold again, and we throw it away. And, I know bookstores do the same thing. I believe they call it gutting, where they decide a book's not going to be sold, so they tear the cover off to make sure that it can't be resold, and they just throw it away. But there's supposed to be an issue, and the reason they have to tear the cover off is that many people used to take these books and they would dig them out of the trash and try to resell them back to the bookstore or return them back to the bookstore. So we do a similar thing. Well, when I was taking out the trash recently, I was trying to lock my back door, and I noticed there was a guy in the back of my store digging through my dumpster. And I wasn't sure what to do about it. Like, I wasn't sure, why is he in my dumpster? What's he digging for? But I did notice he had my company's, he had a bag with my company's logo on his bike. So he had the exact setup to grab something out of my trash, put it in his bag, and then try to return it. Now, obviously, we plan for shit like this. So there's nothing in my trash he could have gotten. If he really seriously wants a plastic trash bag, I'm sure we can oblige him. But there's nothing in there. We don't have any controllers in there. There's no games that he could go after. It's trash that we have in there. But then my thought came up is, am I able to do something about this? Like, do I actually have... Am I allowed to say something? Can I call the police because he's making a mess? 'Cause the other thing is, if the trash does does get all messed up, I am kind of in trouble with my landlord, so I can actually get in trouble over it. And I don't know if he was throwing stuff around or not. But the question becomes, can I say something about that? Am I allowed to? Is that even my property anymore, or the property of my company at least? Because it's in the trash can. We have declared it to be trash. Does that actually? Is that considered my property anymore? So I guess my curiosity is, in the same vein, once you put in your performance in a public area. So let's say it's not. We're not talking about a statue in a museum. That's not a public area. That's a private area with public admittance. It's still private property. But if you put that statue on the curb, is it still yours? This is, again, we're not talking about a statue in a park, because while that's public access, it's kind of private property, It's owned by the city.
By the government, so...
Yeah, it's a privately owned statue. But if you just put that statue on the curb, could anybody just take it and say it's mine? Like, it's that weird... It's that weirdness. At what point is it no longer a private item? When can you say that now? And then the same thing applies. If it's content, at what point do you no longer get to say, this is mine? You can't do anything to it. It's a weird thing. Like, I was kind of weirded out by the question from that guy, can I use this? And I said, sure, why not? Because I didn't see any problem with it. But, just that was kind of the question. And I was also kind of curious. I didn't ask, but I was kind of curious. Is this something he does on a regular basis? Does he usually not play the games for himself and ask for the stuff of others? I mean, I could kind of see how that would be good. And he said, I will link to you and show people where I got the footage. So I'm like, okay, well, that's gonna help me out. He's got a number of subscribers, so that helps me. I don't lose anything. But it's just one of those things, like, oh, okay, this is a little bit different. Where does that lie? What if I don't like how he's transformed my work? Do I get to say something about that now? Like, that's the question. I remember being in journalism class in middle school. We were doing the school newspaper, and we were told, even when talking to teachers, that if they asked to look at the press copy, if they asked to look at the press copy before it went to print, I was to tell them, nope, you can't see it. I'll give it to you when it's printed. They weren't allowed to ask me to change what I wrote. So, I'm curious, is that the same thing? At what point do I lose the right? So we died. That happened.
That happens eventually, unfortunately.
Yeah, it happens fairly...
Just no progress this time.
Yeah, well, we still got 7 minutes. We can keep going.
Takes a very special.
Hey, this is an interesting map.
Through this door.
Get the Shield of Innocence. Okay, that's kind of a thing that exists. Toxic Blood and Cave Rescue. Well, on a slightly shorter discussion that won't last for 23 minutes. So, Mako, have you ever worked in either retail or food? Uh-oh. Are we losing Mako?
God, I hope not.
Okay, it just says internet problems on your side. Okay. Have you ever worked in retail or food?
Retail, yes.
Okay, but food, no?
Food, no.
Okay, did you ever get involved in, like, the information about the back end of your company? Things like ordering or the markup on your products?
Yes and no, because the places that I worked at the time didn't. Like that wasn't how they worked. But this is because I come from special circumstances in this case. Have you ever been to a Habitat for Humanity restore?
I've seen them. I know where one is in the city, but I've never been inside one.
Okay, they are a retail store that gets volunteers to help them out. And this is where I do a lot of my volunteer work when I get the opportunity. Well, the thing is, they don't do regular orders. Instead, the logistics they get involves things such as where they're, how much stuff is being donated, how many people, how many salvage squads they have to send out.
Yeah, right. They're like Goodwill. They get donations, and that's what they sell.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I ask is I'm kind of curious about the opinion on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Should businesses have to show their markup?
No.
No? Because here's my question. And the reason why I ask this is because I used to work in food service. I used to work in pizza. And not many people are aware exactly how much the markup on pizza tends to be. I was talking to an associate, and they were talking. They recently got a coupon for I think it was like 40% off their order of their pizza. But then they were ordering one, and they were ordering a I think it was like a medium with like 2 toppings. And after the 40% off coupon, the order still came to like $14. Keep in mind, it was also delivery, but which is a $3 delivery charge in and of itself.
Okay.
But I'm sitting here going,
Where's it from?
This one was like Papa John's or something like that.
Okay, in that case, I don't have a frame of reference.
Yeah,
I was going to say where you get it from matters immensely for that as well. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, where you get it matters, but the thing is though that if you don't know how much pizza is marked up, that it doesn't make much sense that the price still remains high. But pizza has, I forget what it is. It's something like 1,000% markup or something like that. It's ridiculous.
That's impressive.
The thing is, pizza is generally made. It's made in bulk. Is the thing. It's like you do a 50. Well, the problem is the only store I'm personally familiar with. It was a single. I was familiar with just a single chain, so I don't know how all of them do it. But, damn. But when we did our, when we made our dough, it was a 50-pound bag of flour. So we were making, and then when you add in water and, everything else to that, you end up with a 80-pound thing of dough. And keep in mind, it's a 50-pound bag of flour, but it's like, whatever it is, 8 ounces of yeast, and I forget what it was, 2 ounces of salt, 2 ounces of, it's very, very small amount of stuff. So you make it in bulk, and you're using huge amounts of bulk. Like, it's gigantic amounts. So the cost is reduced because of how much you're using. And that 80 pounds of dough would make probably 64 medium-sized pizzas. So the cost is just reduced all the way across the board. And the same thing continues to apply towards just about everything else you're making. Your tomato sauce is done by multiple different cans of tomato sauce just put together. So it's not this huge, amount of stuff, and you're only using a small ladle. So it's not as if you have this gigantic amount of sauce you're using. Yeah, I really don't want to go fight the Kraken right now. So it's the markup is gigantic because you're making entirely in bulk. You buy in bulk, and you're using a lot less ingredients than the standard person would believe. But at the end of the day, once again, you're out to make money, obviously. So the question really should be, why shouldn't they tell you that? Maybe they shouldn't actually directly put it out there, but you should be allowed to know, at least in my opinion, which stores are marking up and which aren't. Because the store should be able to make that, this is new. There were 2 huge successes there. I don't think I've ever seen that. You should be allowed to know. Because, a lot of stores nowadays, the big push right now in retail is customer service. It's like
Oh,
this
yeah.
gigantic thing that every single company is focusing on. They seem to have realized that you can't just, you know, rely on tons of sales right now, because now that we've gotten, you know, we're finishing up with the recession and things like that, people don't have a ton of money, and they've gotten a lot more frugal with their money, even with the economy rebounding, however much it may be rebounding.
Retention matters.
You know, yeah, so you've got to keep people now because people are actively looking for the bargains. So you can't just bargain it. But I also know companies who will up their sales prices because they know that their customer service will make the difference. So I guess at the end of the day, the question is, should you not be able to see that? Or should it not be available to see somewhere? Like, it may not have to be that, you know, directly McDonald's shows you what their markup is in every given store, but maybe that should be on their website, that you can see this is how much McDonald's will mark up for any given thing. I mean, they're forced to tell me what their not necessarily the ingredients, but they're forced to show me what their words I'm looking for right now. They're forced to show me what their nutritional facts are.
Nutritional facts are not a function of the business.
Yeah, but so my personal health is important. My wallet's health isn't. My wallet's health directly leads to my personal health. I might choose to make better, healthier decisions if I know how badly I'm being screwed on the wallet. I would not be surprised if that happened. I would totally not be surprised if people made better decisions when it came to eating if they knew exactly how bad they were being screwed at the restaurant. So I'm really curious, because I know for a fact, you know, that a lot of these companies do mark up a considerable amount because they can, because people don't know. And the reaction when people see the markup is hysterical. Oh, hell, wait, what? Wait, what? What?
Huh?
You can do that?
What?
So the Kraken comes in 3 waves, right?
Yeah.
Wave 1 is 2 lizards. Wave 2 is a jack plus lizard. Wave 3 is the king plus the lizard. I have always killed the lizards, then killed the Kraken, to avoid taking damage off the Kraken. If you leave the lizards alive, the next wave doesn't spawn. So instead of having to... Oh, I'm only fighting a jack right now. Interesting. Nope, that's the king. Never mind. That's the king. But so if I didn't want to fight the king right now, I could have just not killed the 2 lizards, and I would have been just running away from the 2 lizards right now, as opposed to fighting the king, who just killed me. That's really interesting. Wow. Okay, guys, well, when we return, we might continue talking about this, depending on if Mako has something to say, after I've been
Again,
waxing philosophic for a few minutes.
thought you would do better than this.
That's a depressing amount of deaths for one episode.
Yeah, well, I'm having flashbacks. This is something that happens every now and again.
It does happen every now and again. We'll see you guys soon.